Hi everyone, welcome to our video project for logic and set theory, also known as LSET. My name is Raina Minkan and I'm joined by Justin Saladona, and together we'll be exploring an interesting topic in logic and reasoning, which is proving a rule of inference based on an argument. So in this video, we'll not only discuss logic and inference, but we'll also connect these concepts to real-world issues highlighted by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or also known as SDGs. We'll specifically be covering on SDG 4, which is quality education, SDG number 5, which is gender equality, and SDG 13, which is climate action. So let's get started. Our presentation will delve into arguments built around these goals and how we can logically prove certain outcomes by applying inference rules like addition, conjunction, simplification, modus ponens, modus tollens, disjunctive syllogism, hypothetical syllogism, and constructive dilemma. So these rules help validate the relationships between premises and conclusions. First, we have SDG number 4, which is quality education. So the first argument states that students will either have access to inclusive education or face limited learning opportunities. If students engage in lifelong learning programs, they will achieve academic success. Students are not facing limited learning opportunities. Students have not achieved academic success. Therefore, students have access to inclusive education, but they have not yet engaged in lifelong learning programs. Let's now look at the argument we're trying to prove. And we start by stating the hypothesis. So let's denote G as students will have access to inclusive education, C as students are facing limited learning opportunities, M as students engage in lifelong learning programs, and I as students will achieve academic success. So now let's have the given. For number 1, we have G or C. Number 2, we have M implies I. Next, we have negation of C. And number 4, we have negation of I. So we need to prove G and negation of M. So how are we going to prove this? Again, we will use logical rules to solve this step by step. After obtaining the given, what rule of inference can we use? So we can use disjunctive syllogism to obtain G from the given number 1, which is G or C and negation of C from number 3. Therefore, we can get G. Next, we can get negation of M by using modus tollens from step number 2 and 4, which is M implies I and negation I. Therefore, we can get negation of M. And lastly, by using the rule of conjunction from step number 5 and 6, which is G and negation of M, we can obtain G and negation of M.
Next, we have SDG number 5, which is focuses on gender equality. The second argument states that if women receive equal pay, then the gender wage gap will not increase. If women do not receive equal pay, then both the gender wage gap and economic inequality will increase. Economic inequality is not increasing. Therefore, either the gender wage gap is not increasing or women are receiving equal pay. And for our hypothesis here, let's define P as women receive equal pay, G as the gender wage gap will increase, and Q as economic inequality will increase. We have also given premises here, which are number 1, P implies negation of G, number 2, negation of P implies both G and Q, and number 3 is negation of Q. And also, our task here is to prove negation of G or P. So, how are we gonna prove this? We will use logical rules to solve this step by step. We start with negation of Q, which is our premise number 3. Using the rule of addition, we can introduce another term to create a disjunction, which is our number 4 here. Next, we apply the commutativity to switch the order of terms in number 4 to obtain our number 5. Then, by using number 5, we can use De Morgan's rule to obtain our number 6, which is negation of both G and Q. After obtaining number 6, we can use modus tollens with the premise 2 for our number 7, which is double negation of P. By using number 7, we can now apply double negation to get P for our number 8. Furthermore, we can apply addition to number 8 by adding negation of G to get our number 9. And lastly, we can apply commutativity in number 9 to prove our argument, which is negation of G or P. Lastly, we have SDG number 13, which is related on climate action. The third argument states that if countries reduce greenhouse gas emissions, then global temperatures will stabilize. If government implements policies to protect ecosystems, then the risk of natural disasters will decrease. Countries are reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Governments are implementing policies to protect ecosystem. Therefore, the global temperatures will stabilize and natural disaster risk will decrease. So, for our hypothesis here, let's denote G as countries reduce greenhouse gas emissions, P as government implement policies to protect ecosystems, S as global temperatures will stabilize, and lastly R as the risk of natural disasters will decrease. Now, let's have the given. For number 1, we have G implies S. Number 2, we have P implies R. Number 3, we have G. And number 4, we have P. And also, we need to prove that S and R. So, to prove S and R, we can use the rule of modus ponens from the premises 1 and 3, which is G implies S, P, therefore S. Then, by using modus ponens from the premises 2 and 4, which is P implies R, P, therefore we can get R. Lastly, we can use conjunction from the premises 5 and 6, which is S, R, giving us S and R. In this presentation, we explored key aspects of our MLOSET project, highlighting how arguments can be logically structured through rules of inference. As we've been seeing, applying these principles not only helps in academic reasoning, but also addresses practical challenges like sustainable development and equal opportunities. We hope that this presentation has provided valuable insights into the relevance of logical reasoning and problem solving. Thank you for your time and attention. Special thanks to Sir Jumeo Aguirre Malampao for his guidance throughout this project, and to my partner who is Reina Mikan, who contributed to making this possible. Thank you and have a great day.